かりするっす。
いくらでも来い。せりゃ。
Street Fighter V upholds the series' legacy, offering a diverse cast of characters that brings its great fighting engine to life.
Round 1.
Some of its predecessors' iconic mechanics have been retired in favor of new ones that add to the distinct qualities of each character, stripping away universal actions in favor of specialized skills. Combat in Street Fighter V feels refined, and more honed in than before. But when you aren't fighting with a friend by your side or over the internet, cracks elsewhere begin to show. There's an apparent lack of modes, some of which have been around since Street Fighter's early years. But more importantly, there's almost no way someone without a hardcore competitive spirit can manage to parse the game's fighting styles and move lists, and the potential strategies these elements introduce. One of the most notable differences between Street Fighter V and its predecessor is the removal of the focus attack, which was an easily executable move by which any character could absorb incoming attacks and subsequently dish out a heavy hit that temporarily stunned their opponent. It was a tool that seemed to be designed for casual players, allowing them to mix up the flow of a fight at a moment's notice. But in practice, it ultimately slowed down fights and contributed to the watered-down feeling of the game's cast, as it was available to every character. Street Fighter V doesn't have a direct replacement for the focus attack, but it definitely has an answer for people who bemoan the negative impact it had on the pace of fights in Street Fighter IV. Now, every character has access to 3 V abilities outside of their standard attacks: V skills, V reversals, and V triggers. These skills can be used at any time, and these grant each character a different but equally useful capability. Ryu's V skill is one of the most iconic, as he can use it to parry an incoming attack, a throwback to the universal parry mechanic from Street Fighter III. V reversals require a subunit of the V meter, and they allow a blocking character to break free from an onslaught to bring the fight back to their opponent. Lastly, V triggers grant characters a special temporary buff that enhances their abilities, though again, it varies by character. The variety introduced by these V abilities ensures that fights stay interesting, giving each character a particular means of getting into or out of a fight. Other, more subtle tweaks contribute to Street Fighter V's unique feel. While characters take some damage from an incoming hit while blocking, known as chip damage, you only die while blocking if you're hit with a critical arts attack, the game's version of a cinematic super move. In the past, a diligent fighter could die from a series of fast and cheap hits even though they were blocking. Now that that's no longer the case, the final moments of a fight are far more tense than ever, where every move and every mistake are paramount. Fighting within this system feels great, and Street Fighter V delivers tense one-on-one fights, either in person or online. Capcom servers weren't great at launch, but they are mostly stable now, 1 week in. There isn't much else for the average player to do in Street Fighter V. Challenge and trial modes are coming to Street Fighter V, but they aren't available yet, meaning that anyone who wants to learn how to play with skill must brave intimidating online battles and do their best to pick apart move lists. For now, you can fight people on and offline, engage with the laughably short and low-quality story mode, and try to survive as many fights as possible against the CPU and survival mode, and that's about it. The story mode offers a few fights and narrative tidbits for every character, but you can complete all of them in less than an hour total. At least the servers seem to be working now, and Street Fighter V's netcode is largely great, but if you ever find yourself fighting against someone with an average connection or lower, the choppiness that ensues renders a fight pointless as the frame rate becomes erratic, and both players frantically attack in hopes of landing a blow amid the chaos. Street Fighter V has a long road ahead of it, and this is just the beginning. It has one of the best fighting engines around, and the distribution of abilities among the cast makes for a diverse and well-balanced fighting system. But despite playing like a dream, Street Fighter V needs more modes for people to sink their teeth into, not only for fun, but to learn enough to have a fighting chance against other players. For anyone other than the most hardcore competitors, Street Fighter V is a delightful tease.